Out driving with the queens on the green. Queens out on the green. Who we are, it don't change. Score so low, it's insane. Out driving with the queens on the green. Queens out on the green.
Welcome to Queens on the Green here at the NBA Wives Virtual Empowerment Summit. This is the 4th annual year, and we are so excited to have our new best friend, Lauren Holiday. Welcome.
Thank you for having me and my newfound friends. I'm so excited.
Yay, Lauren, we're so proud and excited to have you here today. But before we dive in to your background and to your inspirational story, I kind of want to share a little bit about what you've accomplished over the years. Lauren is a former U.S. national soccer team player and one of the most accomplished players in soccer history. She's a 2-time Olympic gold medalist and a FIFA Women's World Cup champion. In 2007, she was named U.S. Soccer Young Female Athlete of the Year, and in 2014, she earned the title as U.S. Soccer's Female Athlete of the Year. Hello, accomplishments.
That's pretty amazing.
Welcome, Lauren. You are a
Thank
legend. You are our hero. We're excited to dive in and talk about some fun things today.
So we just were kind of getting acquainted, and you are in Milwaukee right now.
Yes, currently in Milwaukee.
Okay.
And I want to jump in really quick. So the FIFA World Cup Championship was played in Canada, correct?
Correct, Vancouver. Yep.
So we're Canadian.
Yeah, we wanted to ease into that we're Canadian, because for those of you that know and for those of you that don't know, Lauren's fabulous husband plays for the Milwaukee Bucks, Drew Holiday.
Mm-hmm.
And, because we're from Toronto and I think we're in the same division,
We are.
We're Raptors fans. So actually, this is some competition right here going on, right?
Well, actually, there's no competition, Lauren.
No?
2019 Toronto Raptors, we won the championship when the Bucks were supposed to win. But this is the first year that Drew is with the Bucks?
Yeah, so now we are going to win because Drew's there.
Hands
Okay.
down.
So 2019, you guys can have it. We weren't here yet.
I will take
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
I will take it. No, we're way off. I think we're like 11th. You guys are only 2 games off the lead with the Sixers. So to be honest, I am cheering for you guys
Thank
because we
you.
don't have a chance. Yeah, there's no chance over here. Sorry, Raptors.
You just totally diss the Raptors.
No, I love my Raptors, but we're like 20 games off. There's just no.
Hey, so sometimes you have to be real with yourself. You have to, be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I respect that.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm wearing Bucks colors for you today too. So and my FIFA World Cup jacket 2010. South
I
Africa.
appreciate it.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
She did. She came barging into the room and she's like, okay, so I've got my soccer jacket on. I'm going to tell her about it. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I mean, we wanted to dress sporty chic for you because we knew that we were going to get on with a iconic
Legend.
woman athlete.
I'm glad that I dressed sporty, but this is really and truly just my everyday outfit. So that's just reality.
Well, you just put your newborn angel baby to bed, right?
Yeah, I put my 5-month-old son to sleep so I could get on this call. And my daughter, I put her in front of the TV. So I'm like mom of the year right now.
I love it.
We are women. Women are strong, especially when women come together. You've done amazing things in your life, and then you've also overcome a lot of different hurdles.
So thankfully, my tumor was benign. I won the World Cup in 2015. I retired because my husband Drew and I wanted to start a family, and I felt like I was ready for the next chapter in my life. I think I got pregnant in January of 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And right away, like I felt off, you know, like there was a lot that wasn't right. The side of my face was feeling numb. I would try to balance and I would like fall over. And I mean, I'm an athlete. I didn't think pregnancy would make it like that big of a difference. My gums were numb. And then the weirdest one was like when I was eating, I would have to tell myself like swallow your food. So like, you know, it's just natural. Like when you're eating something, you just swallow your food. But like I would have to like tell myself, Lauren, swallow your food, or else it would just sit there. And so all of these things were happening, and I'm like, this doesn't seem like right, you know.
How many months into the pregnancy did you start to notice these changes?
I was probably like 3 months in when I was like, okay, like, you know, feeling some weird stuff, but I was fine. And then I think it was like I was 5 months pregnant, and I woke up with like the worst headache I had ever had. Drew had just left New Orleans. We were in New Orleans at the time to go back to California, and I was supposed to meet him the next day and head back to California. And I woke up with the worst headache. Like it woke me up out of my sleep. I actually ran myself a bath because I was like I was so nervous, like something's wrong. I had to calm myself down. And it was the next morning after I woke up from like having that horrible migraine that I was like, look, if something happens to me, something's going to happen to my daughter that's in my belly. And like, I can't do that. So I went to a neurologist the next day, and I had been to a neurologist before, and actually they had all told me that maybe I was suffering from MS, and that sometimes MS comes out when women are pregnant, but they weren't sure that they would do an MRI after I delivered my baby. But after that migraine, I went into the doctor the next day and I said, like, I want the MRI now. Like, I need it now. And so I got the MRI, and I was actually in the machine, and, you know, the MRI tech was asking me all these questions. Are you okay? Are you comfortable? You know, I have a belly at this point. I just could feel something was like very wrong. Even how he was treating me, I was like, something's not right. I got a phone call from the doctor like 5 minutes later, and he was like, I know you're about to get on a flight, but don't get on that flight. I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is you don't have MS. The bad news is you have a very large brain tumor. Wow. And I didn't know what to say. I asked him right away, like, is it cancer? Because, you know, I didn't know. And he's like, we don't know that yet, but we think it's benign. So my friend that was with me, she called Drew and she told him to get home as soon as he could. So he was actually, I think, getting treatment at his PT, and he drove straight to the airport, no clothes, no nothing. He bought a ticket at the desk, and he got on the first flight back to New Orleans. And from there, we started to navigate what to do next.
Yeah. You know, now circling back to today, where are you now? How are you feeling today? How has the transition from where you were to today, how has that kind of impacted you and your family?
Because how many years ago was that?
That was 4 years ago.
Probably 4.5. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll just tell you. So I ended up moving to North Carolina to be near like the best surgeon that I felt was for me at Duke. I delivered my daughter 4 weeks early, and I had brain surgery 4 weeks later. Wow. So I had my daughter JT, and she was in the NICU for 1 week, which, by the way, any moms that have had a child in the NICU, it is by far the hardest thing I've ever done, harder than brain surgery, harder than anything else. Because when you leave the hospital, you're supposed to leave with your child. And when you don't, it's absolutely crushing. So she was thankfully healthy. She was just early. So she was in the NICU for a week. And then I had brain surgery 4 weeks later, and it was a 10-hour brain surgery. And I still have tumor in my head, so they weren't able to get all of it. But I've been okay. I had radiation a couple months after I had surgery, just to try to like kill it, make sure that it wouldn't come back. But 4 years later, and I decided to have another child. So I'm doing well. I'm healthy. I feel good. And I have 2 beautiful children and a great husband.
That's amazing. And it is, you're continuing to live, you're in your blessings and the fairy tale that you've probably always wanted, right? And how has this experience strengthened everybody, not only with Drew and the kids, but just, everybody around you, and then also yourself, to be able to go through that and really, really explore who you are as a human being and to be able to get through those challenges. Tell us about that. How have you evolved as a woman?
Yeah, I think in times of suffering, I feel like you grow the most. And I definitely feel like it was a time of suffering. I tell people, like, I wish I would have found out I had the brain tumor, like, and then I had surgery the next day, because when I found out I had the brain tumor, I had to wait, 3 more months. And during that time, during that period of waiting, I feel like was the hardest time of my life. Really like digging deep and trying to understand like why me, like why am I going through this? What's my purpose and what am I supposed to do? And even my faith, like that's a huge part of who I am. And but really exploring that faith, like, do I have faith? Do I believe what I say I believe? Do I, believe that Jesus is real? Do I believe in healing? Do I believe in miracles? Do I believe in all that? I feel like that tested me tremendously. And even my relationship, for Drew and I, going through like such suffering is so challenging, and how much weight he had to carry also. And
Right.
Everyone forgets, like, oh, well, he was there for you, how awesome. But like, no, like he was there for me. He was raising our daughter. Like, he's a new dad and he had to take care of her for 6 weeks, and it takes a toll on everybody. But like, to come out the other side, like I feel like we are so much stronger for it.
That's amazing. And so, tell us some of the things, your day to day, right? So what happens in Lauren's day to day, and how do you move? And I know that you're just in Milwaukee, so you probably just made a big move, literally.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can see you hung the jerseys in the back, which is good.
Yeah.
You got the jerseys up.
Yeah, we've gotten some things up. I won't show you the rest of my house. So,
you're just like smothered in boxes. No, how long has it been since you moved?
We moved 2 days after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And no, we got the boxes unpacked, and it's nice. Milwaukee is a lot like slower, and during a pandemic, like there's not much that I can be doing. My 4-year-old does go to school right now, so that's good. She just happens to be on spring break right now. But my day to day is really like, I try really hard to be able to work out at some point during the day. That's like very important to me for my mental sanity. I think it's very important for my marriage also, and for my kids' like sake, because I'm a better person when I'm active.
Yeah. Well, we know you like to swing the golf club really hard, and that feels good. So I'm assuming that working out is gonna ease some of that
what
pressure.
are the things that you do in the gym? What are you working on?
I'll just be completely honest. I am a mindless worker-outer. I like to run as hard and as fast as I can, and that's like the way that I feel like I did something for the day. So like I will run a mile as fast as I can, and then I do like sprint intervals, or maybe I'll run 2 miles as fast as I can, and then I'll do sprint intervals. It depends on how much time I have, but usually I have like 30 minutes to get everything done before my son wakes up, before I have to jump on another call or do something around the house. So that is what I do for my workout. It is not very nuanced, but it works for me.
So you are a role model for so many people. You are a hero. You're an inspiration. Who are some of your heroes, and who are some of your inspirations today?
Yeah, I think my first hero, my first inspiration would be my sister. She's two years older than me, and she's always been my best friend. Like, I tell her all the time, even when I had the brain tumor, she took a leave of absence from work and she came and stayed with us. I think she was like more mental sanity for my husband than anything else. But she is my mom. She is amazing. Now that I'm a mom, I have so much more respect for mothers, and I realize how much I am like her in a lot of ways. I feel myself like raising my kids the same way that I was raised, and I'm like, oh wow, like I'm a lot like my mother. And really, my husband, like I tell people all the time, he's genuinely the kindest like human that I've ever known. And my teammates used to joke, like if they were ever in a bind and they needed $25,000, they were calling Drew because he would for sure do it. Or if they needed picked up from somewhere, he would be the first call. So I would say him. And yeah, I've never really had like icons outside of my family. But yeah, my family is like a huge, huge inspiration to me. And now watching my daughter and her zeal for life, her just everything about her, I'm like so inspired by her. And I want to continue to be the best version of myself just so I can be around her.
Do you see her with some of your mannerisms? Do you see a lot? Do you see a lot of Drew's characteristics in her?
She might look like Drew, but I think she is all me. She's like 100% me. And anytime I complain to my family or I'm like, oh my gosh, can you believe she did this? And they're like, yeah, we can. Actually, she's just like you. So I know she's just like me. She's very, very defiant. But she's kind. She has like such a sweet soul. And I think that is just so fun to watch.
And you said she's picking up golf clubs, or she has her own set of golf clubs right now.
What is it going to be for her? Is it basketball, soccer, or is it now that we're in your life? Is it golf?
I think it's definitely golf. It has to be now. But no, she does have a pink set of golf clubs from her Uncle Aaron. And she plays tennis, and she likes tennis. And she says that she's going to play soccer like mommy, but every time I've signed her up, she doesn't like it as much. So I'm trying not to force that. And I think she's like semi-interested in basketball, but not really.
Well, I think, and I know from me, like I would do jazz, tap, volleyball, basketball. And I never really ever thought,
Ice skating.
I was an ice skater. And I am not built for ice skating in no shape or form. Not that you need to have a certain shape to ice skate, but
there was zero chance. Fantastic ice skating.
Yeah. But our parents were really good and about putting us into sports. I think sports really, and you can probably speak to this, is like it gives you that all the little life lessons that, you're going to learn the hard way, no matter what, when you grow up, but it teaches you all of those little lessons, all the way from discipline to responsibility to respect. So I am all for it.
I agree with you on sport. I feel like it like prepared me to get through everything that I've gotten through in life. And I truly believe that. And I just believe that people should be passionate about something. Mm-hmm. And so if she's passionate about music or dance or anything, I think that passion is important, and it teaches you so much about life and how to get through life. So I think passion is just something that I want her to have. So if it's not sports, even though I hope it is, that's okay too, as long as it's something.
So Lauren, I want to talk love with you. You and Drew are truly.
By the way, this is a symbol for love.
My symbol for love. I like that. But no, you guys are truly an amazing fairy tale. I know you guys met right at UCLA. What was the commonality? How did you guys meet? And was sports the commonality to your relationship?
Sports were the commonality to our relationship. Drew's actually younger than me. And I was
cougar action.
Lauren, the cougar.
Yeah. I also played basketball growing up. So I was pretty good friends with some of the women's basketball players at UCLA. And then I would play pickup just like with some of the football players. And I was like the only girl on the team, but I was around, and that's how Drew and I like met in college. Actually, someone mistaked him for Darren Collison, and I was sitting behind him, and I told him, I'm like, don't worry, you're way cuter than Darren. I really was not interested, but he just seemed so heartbroken that they thought he was Darren Collison. So that is how we officially met. But we had mutual friends in college, and we actually never dated in college, not until after we left.
So we want to know and Drew's played for New Orleans. I know he's played for the Sixers, right?
New Orleans and Milwaukee.
And okay. So, and I know it's like hard to judge because you've really only been there in Milwaukee for 6 months during like literally a global pandemic. But which of the cities, and let's include LA in it.
Yeah.
Let's include LA. Okay. So which of the cities is the most romantic?
Oh.
So wait, we have LA, we have New Orleans, and then we have Milwaukee.
And no,
Philly.
LA and Philadelphia. We can't forget Philadelphia.
I feel like maybe it was just the timing in our relationship, but the most romantic city for me was Philly.
Oh, okay. So we love us some Philly.
Philly is fun.
Tell us some, like, to give us an example of like one of your most favorite romantic moments of you and Drew in Philadelphia.
Well, Drew proposed to me in Philadelphia. So he had actually just moved into a new apartment. And so when I played soccer, I would be there for a weekend or I would be there for 5 days. It was never like we spent a lot of time together.
So you guys were both competing at the same time.
So I was playing and he was playing. So we didn't see each other a lot. But I was in Philly and he was moving to this new apartment downtown Philadelphia. And so he had all these boxes. I had just gotten off a game. I think I was in New York. I ended up flying to Philly, and he was unpacking, and he was like, hey, like, go look in the hamper. And I went and looked in the hamper, and there was like a sock. And so I like grabbed the sock and I brought it back to him, and he was down on one knee, and I was like, oh, that's weird. So he was like, no, there's something else, like go back. And so I went back to grab it, and it was a box, and I was like, what a weirdo. I didn't even open it. I'm like walking over to him, and then it was like, it clicked. He was down on one knee. I feel like he was like, I could feel his heart beating. And that's what he told me. It's like, I moved into this new apartment, but I want this to be ours. And like, will you marry me? And so that was like where he proposed. And then we went to dinner after. But I just feel like Philly was always so romantic. Okay, you guys I'm gonna mess up the name. It's like something Khan.
Budokan.
Yes,
with the huge
they have the most amazing bar, and it has like that dim lighting, and it's so romantic.
That is romantic, and it's there, like kind of in the heart of everything going on, right downtown Philly.
Yeah. So that was where we went after, like, that night to celebrate when he proposed.
That's really, really, really cute. So Budokan has a special place in your heart. When you go back to Philly, do you guys go there?
You know what? We don't. You know where we go in Philly? It's a place called Jones's. Have you guys been?
No. Where's that?
It's like it's so good. It's like comfort food. I don't know what street or where, but it's downtown Philly.
Does it have wine?
Is it what?
Does it have wine?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like after the soda company. No, it's really good. It's really good.
I love it.
So in Milwaukee, so tell us the temperature, like what is going on? You are, in the thick of it. You're just getting to Milwaukee, right? You're getting settled in. How is the lifestyle right now? like, are you able to go to the games? Can you not go to the games? Tell us a little bit about like how you're able to move in and around, you know, with just during a global pandemic, you know, and moving to a new team.
Yeah, I think they just opened it up where some fans can go to the games and the families can come. I'm not going to the games just because my son is so young. I don't feel like he needs to be at a game at 5 months old. I didn't take JT to a game until she was a year old. But I did go to one game this year so far with my daughter just because she loves it. So that was fun. But yeah, I feel like Milwaukee, I feel like they've done a really good job during the pandemic so far, what I've seen, but it is a little bit isolating during a pandemic and moving and not knowing people. And but we're making it work. It's fine. I'm from the Midwest. I'm used to the Midwest.
Where are you originally from?
I'm from Indianapolis.
Oh, you're from Indianapolis. Okay.
Yeah.
So Nish went to Missouri.
I went to Missouri.
With the Midwest crowd.
I hit a really low ball because it's always windy in Missouri.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, Missouri's fun. Seema went to UNLV.
Okay.
And you've never left, so it tells you how much we love Las Vegas.
We've been here. We refuse to leave. However, I would reside to Florida if I had to. That's like the one place I would love to go
Not
back.
California?
It's too cluster for me. I need space. I need breathing room. It's just there's so much going on. But I love LA. I love to go visit LA for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And then
So we live right outside of LA. So like we live probably an hour outside of LA, north of LA, and we have an avocado farm.
Is it like, what is it called? Chattanooga, or what is it? No.
That's Chatsworth. Chattanooga's in Tennessee, but
no, Cucamonga or something. Literally, it's like an hour north, right?
Rancho Cucamonga is what you're talking about.
No,
Rancho
what's the name of the city that you guys live in?
We live in Santa Rosa Valley.
Santa Rosa Valley. Okay, I was way off.
We have an avocado orchard, so we have avocados.
You have an avocado orchard?
Yeah, we live on 10 acres. So we have the best of both worlds. We still have our space, but we're still, close enough to everything.
Well, now we know where to come visit when we come to LA.
Exactly. Well, you guys are the new aunties.
I know. I want to ask you this question. I know we're going to wrap up soon, but this is really important as we're talking about women's empowerment. I want to bring up the NCAA basketball tournament and what we saw with just the tremendous amount of backlash with the design or lack of design of equipment and gym. What were your thoughts on that? And when we talk equality, how important should it be for young women to speak up about this?
Yeah, my first thought is it's about time that people actually are outraged by this. I remember, being a female athlete myself and going to Olympics, going to World Cups, and not being treated equally to the men's team, and in college especially not being treated equally to any of the men's teams on campus. And now it's like people actually care. They're actually like, wow, this is an outrage, and I'm so proud of that. But like now there actually needs to be change.
Right.
Like, okay, well, that's great that people are outraged. It's phenomenal that people stepped up and are sending things and they want to make it right. But like the actual institution needs to make it right.
Right.
That it shouldn't be happening. The NCAA has to be better, and they have to make adjustments. And all I have to say is it's about time.
Yeah.
And you have a young daughter who's, going to grow up and, with a, world soccer champion as mommy and an NBA superstar as daddy. It's like, watching sports and being a part of sports, you want her to be able to speak up, have a voice, and be just as strong. So I know that for young women all over, I know that when we played collegiate golf, a lot of the things that we experienced, we normalized, and we said, okay, well, the men obviously get, better. And that was just the way it was. And so I definitely think seeing what we saw and, social media, right, playing a part in that, how important is social media, do you think, for young women to use that as their voice?
Yeah, I think that's like I don't know, there's a fine line between, because I think there's a lot of negatives about social media, but I think that obviously like having a platform and having a voice on social media is huge, and it can create real change. And I think that that's important. And I think like teaching my children and my daughter, especially, the difference between that is like your voice matters, but your voice is there to uplift. It's to fight injustice. It's to say the right things. It's to empower other women. It's not there to compare. You're not on it to compare to somebody else. And I think that especially this day and age, that's going to be such a hard lesson to teach her, or such a hard thing to teach her, because I do feel like there are so many negatives that come along with it. How do we teach our women to support each other and to support other girls, and really and truly bring each other together and lift each other up? Because having each other's back and supporting each other, it does bring real change.
I think that's the beauty of sports. I think with sports, it's such a beautiful unifier.
When we talk about the social injustices going on and really trying to strive for racial equality, can you tell us about you and Drew's organization that is really striving for change? So not only are you just, being representatives, but you both have really come together to really be a voice for it.
Yeah, Drew and I created the JLH fund when he was going back to the bubble. He was really struggling with like going to the bubble. I was pregnant, all the things that were happening in the country, the racial injustice, the innocent lives that had been taken by police brutality. And he was like, does this matter? Like, does the bubble matter? Does basketball matter? Like, what's happening to my brothers and sisters? Like, that matters so much more. And like, how can we be the biggest change? And, we were talking about it for a couple of weeks, and it was like pretty much everyone had agreed to go back to the bubble. And, Drew was still struggling with it. And I was like, well, what brings change? Like, what in your mind, like, will make you feel better about it? And, we talked about it, and I finally just told him, I'm like, well, why don't you just put your money where your mouth is? And like the rest of your salary, it just goes to Black and brown peoples and Black and brown owned business and nonprofits, and really serving your community and what is like breaking your heart right now. And so that's what we did. And that's what we've been doing for the past year, and hopefully going to continue to build and grow and be able to serve a lot more people.
Lauren, what you have achieved in your lifetime, and what you stand for, and the sort of role model and shero that you are for so many, is just incredible. And we wish you all the love and the success and the continued fairy tale, but also your voice really matters, and everything that you're doing, both you and Drew, is so important. And we're so happy that we were able to share and get to know you, and can't wait to play some golf with you. I want to see you hit that ball.
I know. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I would love to play golf with you, and you could teach me how to have a better swing than Drew. That would be great. I'm still just a little bit competitive.
Ooh,
but no, I appreciate you guys so much.
Aww. Well, so what do you have lined up for the rest of it? Anything special?
The baby.
The babies. I gotta make dinner.
What are you making? What are you making for dinner?
I have no idea. I haven't gotten that far.
I have a question for you. Are you like me at this point? I am running out of things to eat. I am running out of things to cook, and I'm running out of order. Like, I am so bored with food during this quarantine. I feel like I'm just.
Yes, I agree. I agree. I probably run and get Chick-fil-A more than I should, just because my daughter loves it. Loves it. That's like a guaranteed she's going to eat all of her food, and we're going to be good. Even though she's not picky. My daughter JT, if you ask her what her favorite food is, she'll tell you poke.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Yeah, she's
Wow.
a 4-year-old poke
Got that
connoisseur.
palate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Starting early with the palate. Okay, before we go, this is an important question for you, Lauren. Who do you have to win the Masters?
Oof.
Who's in the Masters?
Tiger's out.
Tiger's out. Who's your next best favorite golfer? Because I'm assuming you would have picked Tiger, only because he's the best golfer in the world. And he's spectacular.
I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. I don't even know another golfer other than Tiger.
Interesting.
All right. Well,
I really need your help. I'm telling you.
This is why we are here.
Okay. Who should I want to win?
I mean,
my
Dustin Johnson's awesome. I mean, I think that Bryson DeChambeau, and I know me and Seema have a thing about this, but I do think Patrick Reed is good enough.
Lauren, I just want to let you know, and I bring it up on every podcast, but he's blocked me on Twitter. So.
And she probably thinks that's the most irrelevant thing ever.
It's like super awkward because I've never met him. So, but I think Patrick Reed has a chance, even though he's blocked me. And I think Dustin Johnson. So if anyone asks you.
Yeah. Now you know 2 more golfers. Oh, and Bryson DeChambeau.
Could I get that in a text message?
Yeah, we'll text it to you immediately.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. We're going to go place some bets.
Yeah, we are. Text us your bets.
No, the Masters for us is like Christmas. That's our holiday.
We do.
Okay.
It's 4 days.
Okay, well, if I'm gonna be a really good golfer, then I need to know these things.
Yeah.
And I need to learn how to not just hit the ball really hard.
Yeah. Well, no, definitely keep doing that.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and tune in, to Queens on the Green, because then you'll be able to learn it, but like in a more feminine lifestyle way. That's our approach.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hug.
Hugs.
Thank you for having me.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
Yeah, go Bucks. Thank you,
Wishing you
guys.
an amazing rest of your day. And shout out to the NBA Wives for this summit and the American Cancer Society. We love you all, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Lauren.
Bye.
Bye.
Out driving with the queens on the green.